o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you join me in the pledge of the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Lynn, would you call the roll, please?
Here.
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 Mr. Hubbard?
Here.
Ms. Dickman?
Here.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Here.
Ms. Saban?
Here.
Mr. Seifert?
Here. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the March 17th, 2021 meeting.
Moved. Second.
Any comments, questions, changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 1 is a public hearing on our 2021 community development application and 5-year plan. This is for federal funding that gets channeled through the county. Entertain a motion to recess the regular meeting and go into public hearing to hear comments on the 2021 community development application and 5-year plan.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are in public hearing mode. I will read off these, what we've got for our consolidated plan. 2021 application is Birchwood Boulevard drainage improvements, rehabilitation of approximately 1,000 feet of existing open channel drainage ways in the Village Green neighborhood. The work would be behind the properties on Birchwood between Idlewood and Cedarwood Boulevards. The rehabilitation would generally consist of regrading and reshaping the open channels, select tree removals, placement of erosion control materials in erosive areas, and establishing turf. The total project is $67,500. Town share would be $17,500. We're requesting $50,000 from community development for that. That will be the sole one we apply for 2021. If you remember right, we got a 3-year, $150,000. Correct, 150. 123, but it was like for 3 years. So we have been told we'll very likely be sitting the bench as far as getting any money for 2022 work. So the 2022 application, this is on the 5-year plan now. It's Lower Seneca Knolls Drainage and Pavement Rehabilitation Phase 1. 2023 is Lower Knolls Drainage and Pavement Rehabilitation Phase 2. 2024, same thing in a Phase 3. 2025 application, Tappan Street Road Sidewalk, new sidewalk construction from 170 feet west of Comstock Road, easterly the village line, approximately 1,230 feet. There's been a lot of interest expressed with the Kriego Farm development that sidewalks are needed there regardless of what happens with the Kriego Farm. So that's why it's down to about 2025 on our list. 2026 State Fair Boulevard sidewalk, new sidewalk construction 230 feet north of Henderson Boulevard, southerly to shopping center driveway, approximately 460 feet total. So that is the 5-year plan and the 2021 application. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor of this application and 5-year plan? Seeing none, anyone opposed to this application and 5-year plan? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to go back into regular session.
Moved.
Close the public hearing, go back into regular session.
Yeah, moved. Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is public hearing on extension number 2 of Van Buren Consolidated Water District. Entertain a motion to recess the regular meeting, go into public hearing to hear comments on the proposal to extend the Van Buren Consolidated Water District.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're in public hearing for this. Jason, or Bill, you want to explain it? This is Bill Morse. This is the applicant's engineer.
So this is a extension of the district to serve the proposed site for Alltech Industries. It's on Herman Road between Pottery Road and Van Buren Road. It's right over here, about 725 feet of 8-inch pipe and 1 hydrant. This is going to be paid for by the developer and turned over to Aqua at no cost to the town. That's your existing consolidated water district boundary is here. There is one property that is not on water yet, although technically a portion of them is in the district, so I'm sure if they asked Aqua, they could get service.
Outside user probably.
Yeah.
So where will the new boundary be for the district?
Um,
Right there, okay. Okay.
Just this piece, because again, without.
You kind of leapfrogged over that.
Well, without them asking to be in the
Right.
district, we wouldn't have a petition signed by 50% of the
Right,
assessed
right,
value of the
understood.
resident owners, so.
And the property is technically in the district.
It's,
Yeah, a portion of it, okay. Okay. Okay, anyone have any questions for Bill?
Were you changing the district of the water district? You're changing it, is that what you're saying?
We are extending it because the water does not come down along this section of Herman Road. It's right now it's at the corner of Pottery and Herman. So in order for them to get water, they could go with a well, but they preferred to pay the cost to extend the water so they would have public water.
So where on the map will you typically dig to extend?
It will be basically right along the edge of pavement,
The road?
just the outside the pavement on the north side. So that's where the water is now. So they would wind up with a hydrant at the end because they'll need that for flushing the line.
Got it.
Yeah, the water authority will actually do the work, or their contractor will.
Is there something on that parcel, or is that vacant?
Currently, it's vacant. It was vacant agriculture. There is, this is Kenny Geotechnical, and then these are
It's
houses.
just down the road from dependable disposal, that's where it is.
I know where it is, I just didn't know if there was something on there.
They'll probably have it done by September, October.
Okay, Alltech has received all their other planning board approvals and everything, so this is kind of the last piece of the puzzle to put together. Any other questions for Bill? Okay. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor of this extension? Anyone in the audience opposed to this extension of the water district? Hearing none, entertain a motion to close the public hearing and go back into regular session.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back in regular session. Item number 3 is action on the 2021 Community Development Application 5-year plan. Entertain a motion to adopt everything that was presented on that and read aloud.
Moved. Second.
Discussion?
If we do not get the award this year, does the whole list just shift down?
We'd probably resubmit the same list again next year.
But just, obviously move everything down a
Yeah,
year?
2021 would become 2022 probably, and everything would bump down.
So we can't move ahead without that grant. Or if we
None of
get
it.
areas on the map, we may want other projects that may jump into the 5-year plan. Things get shuffled.
Okay.
They did change the map a little this year. They don't very often, but with the new census coming out, they might.
Right, next year's map may be.
Yeah, it may be completely different, who knows? But based on everything right now, if we don't get money for this Birchwood drainage, they'd probably just bump down and become 2022 submittal.
You want to explain what CDBG stands for and what you have to, how you qualify even?
It's a community development block grant, so CDBG stands for the most popular.
I had you backed up.
No, I know the answer, I'm just still asking the question.
And based on, a lot of it has to do with income status, the map is produced for the town that shows eligible areas that can help lower income areas or ADA compliance issues or something that's
primarily has to benefit low income.
Right. That's what I just wanted the public aware
And,
of.
and there is a match that the town has to put with the money, so. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is action on approval for extension number 2 of the Van Buren Consolidated Water District. Entertain a motion to do so.
Second.
You have a resolution there in front of you that was prepared by Nadine. It lays out, it's got the Schedule A on it, where all this lies, the meets and bounds description. So, is there any other discussion on this?
Would it be easy to add that parcel at some point after the fact? I hate to jump over it. I mean, I
They
get,
could if they petition us.
certainly understand why you're not.
If they petition us, then you know you got the 51%.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay?
And it must not be much for him just to tie in since the pipe is going right by.
I would think not, but it would
Yeah,
actually
they-
probably be more to get in than it is to tie
Since
in.
part of the property is in, the water authority might let them do it kind of as an outside user, but pay the district rate, so,
I guess I would have preferred to just see the map.
yeah.
If the owner
Contiguous.
requested, then it would be easy to.
Right.
Make it contiguous.
Jason could prepare a map, I'd give him the CAD file to do the extension and the legal description, you just go through what you did tonight.
Right.
Do we know if the owner is even aware of the proposal? Of the one you're
It's
jumping
not really
over?
necessary, I guess.
Are they local owners? I don't even know. But this is what we have before us tonight, so
Yeah, it's,
it can very easily be done in the future,
It's
so,
roll call too.
yes, I know. Any more discussion?
This development, I don't want to hold this up.
No, no.
oh, no, neither
No.
did I just.
No.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vandewater?
Yes.
Ms. Lesniak?
Yes.
Mr. Tupper?
Yes.
Ms. Dickman?
Yes,
Mr. Dzinski?
Yes.
Ms. Saban?
Yes.
Mr. Sykes?
Yes. You're all set, Bill?
Thank you.
Good
Thank
seeing
you.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is adoption of the Public Employer Emergency Plan. Entertain a motion to that effect.
Moved. Second.
The state passed regulations that every municipal employer has to prepare a plan for the future to deal with another pandemic or whatever the case may be. So we have gone ahead and done that. You have to send it out to your labor unions if you have any. We've done that. We had a response from one and not the other. Solicited a response from the other, still didn't get a response, so we're just gonna have to go ahead and adopt it because we're under a deadline to get this done also. So I'd entertain a motion to adopt, we've already got a motion, so.
Yep.
Any other discussion? This just kinda lays out the format like Mary Frances had to do when I was in Arizona last year when this did.
And the next time this happens, I will make sure I'm on vacation, so whoever.
So, it, unfortunately, nobody has a crystal ball to know what the next major event could be. And this kind of is centered around what we experienced with this episode. It could be totally different 5, 10, 15 years down the road, whenever it might happen, if it happens. But at least you got a basis to know how to get started anyway, to start implementing something, so.
Claude, one question. If the highway guys, union, come back and they say they wanted something different, they had to get it in by a certain period of time, so,
Well, there's nothing precluding the town from at some future
Yeah.
point amending this.
Okay.
But you have to have something in place by the deadline.
Right. Yeah, if they come back and say, we don't like these couple pieces, we can, adopt that.
okay.
and this is similar to what other towns in our
Yes.
locale are.
Yes.
Claude, do you think that's something that should be reviewed regularly and adopted annually or biannually or something?
Well, like I said, nobody has any crystal ball to know what'll happen in the future. I don't think it should go on a shelf and collect dust. Any plan should be looked at every few years, but I don't know what would be changed, because nobody really knows what could come about.
What would happen, right?
You know,
The best plans always fight the last war anyway.
there you go. There
Oh,
you go.
Howard.
Howard.
So,
Gotta love them.
all right, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 6, discussion action on basically 3 or 4 things here. One is the opening of the pool. Number 2 would be use of playground programming at the park, programming at one of the schools, and pavilion opening. So we're gonna have kind of an open discussion on this. The Parks Committee met last week with the Recreation Supervisor and the Parks Director. And where would you like to start, Wendy? You're the chair of the...
So we had our Parks Committee meeting last week, and the committee itself discussed the current guidelines which are imposed by the Onondaga County Health Department. Unfortunately, those guidelines are dated June 11th, 2020. They have not been updated since. The Parks Department has called the county to see if anything's changed. It hasn't. I called myself just to check. They're at the mercy of the state whenever the governor decides to amend those guidelines. Given that they are still required to keep the 6 feet distance for folks in and out of the pool, I mean, how do we do that? How do we control someone being in the pool and distancing 6 feet? The baby pool is pretty small. You could have maybe 4 children in there, and how do you tell your 2-year-old not to go play with the little boy next over a little bit? Staff, if one of the staff lifeguards gets COVID, then the whole staff gets shut down for exposure. Not to mention, all the touch areas need to be disinfected. The handrails, chairs, tables, door handles, bathhouse.
The locker room, everything.
So the committee decided it financially wasn't in the best interest of the residents to open the pool.
Yeah, the county health department said the maximum we would be able to have in there is 50 people. They said 40 to 50, so that 50 would be the max. At 50, we won't even be able to pay our lifeguards, recoup the money, repay the lifeguards, so. And once it's open, you have to have somebody disinfecting every hour. That's the county requirement. That's not our requirement, that's the county's requirement. So that's a whole nother staff person that we've never had to have before. And it just doesn't financially make sense to do so.
And that's the pool area plus the bathhouse
Right.
and bathrooms.
Right, everything. So,
It's unfortunate, because I know just within my neighborhood, a lot of people were very upset that the pool wasn't available. We did have a really nice hot summer last year, and unfortunately, it's gonna be the same situation, and it's not our call. We have to follow CDC, OSHA, EPA, and Onondaga County Health Department. It's not, we can't opt in, we can't opt out. It's the guidelines that we are required to follow.
And I'm assuming you all talked about having one group in for 45 minutes and then out, and then
Yeah.
another one
well,
in.
we talked 2-hour slots, and it would be pull them out for what was a half hour so disinfection could be done. And then you'd have to rotate them. And the price would have to go up to try to help cover the cost. So, you know, people are gonna complain about the price increase and less time at the pool.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense.
And then you're gonna have to have a staging area for these people. That's gonna create another, I'm sure you've talked about it. They're gonna
Right.
be
Right.
grouped up on the outside, just waiting to get in.
Right.
So logistically, it would be tough.
We did talk about like 45-minute slots, you know, a family could go in for 45 minutes, they leave 15 minutes to disinfect, then another family could come in for 45 minutes. And
Yeah.
again, the price for the residents to come in and swim would probably be over $5 or $6 for 45 minutes. It
Per
would-
person.
Per person,
Yeah, it's just,
just to be able to rotate in and out.
it's cost prohibitive, really.
It really is.
Have to forgo it for one more year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hate to see it, but it's almost gotta be that way.
And even if they changed come July or something with the guidelines, we wouldn't be able to get lifeguards anymore.
Kathy said most of her lifeguards have already sought other employment, and a good percentage of them are already hired other places for different type of jobs.
And we closed the pool in mid-August, so.
Yes.
9 weeks.
No, pools are far apart, and it's unfortunate, they're very far apart.
Yeah,
Okay, so you wanna vote on the pool itself?
correct.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion not to reopen the pool for the 2021 summer season.
Moved.
Any more discussion?
I would ask if it would be possible to maybe put a link on our webpage to the Onondaga County pool opening guidelines, so residents can go to our webpage and click on the link and see what the guidelines are, so they.
I've got them right here, I can
Okay.
scan it and give it to Lynn, she can put it up.
Okay, just so everyone's aware that this is not our call.
I bet they're the same as the ones the YMCA uses.
Perhaps.
It should be.
I don't know if the YMCA is considered a public pool, though.
Well,
It's a membership.
Health guidelines.
Yeah.
So, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next component is the playground programming at the park. In talking to Heidi, she didn't feel that she could pull it off there due to the limitations in the social distancing. It's, the lodge, it's 6 feet. Last year, I think it was 7 people we could get in the lodge. And the big pavilion, last year, I think was 10 in the big pavilion. And all that still applies today.
Right.
We still gotta live under the same rules, so, she didn't feel that it would be appropriate to open that, due to the 6-foot social distance mandate by Onondaga County Health Department, so. So programming within the park is, they don't recommend it, so. And I think the committee felt the same way.
Right. What we are able to offer is they were able to secure McNamara to do a summer program there, only a 5-week program, with a cap of probably 40 kids.
Now, if something loosens up, Heidi thought she might be able to do something at the park, but she'd have to see what the new regs require. And who knows if they're gonna loosen up anything, so. So with that,
One
entertain-
comment, when I talked to Heidi this morning, she was really hoping that they could do something up there, but again, it was
Well-
limited to maybe 7 people,
Yeah,
and,
last year she did some online stuff.
yeah,
There's quite a few of the parks around did some online virtual stuff last year. And she thought she might be able to do that. The dinosaur thing was one thing she thought she might be able to do. So-
Yeah, she thinks she can do maybe like
Science.
week-long camps.
Yeah.
So it would be either a 9 to 12 camp for a group of 7 or 10 kids, and then an afternoon, like 2 to 4 camp. But they wouldn't, it's not a babysitting
Right.
program. It is a summer camp, and it's only half-day. She's still looking into those options. More to come on that.
So how do we want to word that? Entertain a motion to leave it to the discretion of the recreation supervisor and parks director about running any programming at the central park,
No, following guidelines.
following the state and county and federal guidelines.
Moved.
Second.
Yeah.
Any more discussion?
Well, I just want the people to know that Wendy has put a lot into this, and we realize that they're missing out on this. And these are very hard decisions for us to make. And I just want them to know that we're trying our best to make this happen.
Like I said, we were going to make this decision back in May. We pushed it off till April, hoping that the guidelines would be loosened up and maybe a lot of it.
We talked about it in March, we pushed it
Removed.
to April to try to have a better handle.
Right, and nothing's
forthcoming.
changed at all. I mean, they haven't even been updated since June.
I feel like it's a deterrence to have these programs. If they're not gonna update guidelines since June of 2020, we're operating on, I mean, I
Right.
just, I think it's discouraging them.
And we all know that last summer, this was a hardship for people because daycare was nowhere to be found. And the kids look forward to going to this program every summer, being with their friends, being able to be outdoors, have activities to do. So we are very aware that this is going to be another hardship for families this summer.
One thing that Heidi mentioned to me is because this is a recreation program and not an education situation, the social distancing does not reduce from 6 to 3 feet like the students are getting in school. This still has to maintain 6 feet.
6 feet, right.
Even though it's outdoors.
Right.
It makes zero sense.
Right.
Okay, all those in favor then of not running, or leaving it up to the Parks Director and the Recreation Supervisor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next thing is the pavilions. Heidi did some extensive research, and she's come to rest on utilizing Onondaga County Park System, kind of waiver or disclaimer that any user of our pavilions would have to sign. She's looking at sign-ups to begin for Pavilion Rentals on April 19th. And actual use of these pavilions would start June 1st. So, and Van Buren residents would get first dibs, and then the second week, it's open to the general public after that. So, the tables under the pavilions have to remain 9 feet apart. That's the guidelines from the health department. Some of those small pavilions, they aren't even 9 feet long. So the tables will have to sit outside. If it rains, somebody's gonna get wet. But anyway, that's what we have to live with, so.
And just a quick touch base on the rentals. If you're renting it and you're having a party, it's your responsibility to hand out masks if one of your guests doesn't have any, to bring hand sanitizer. So you're like in charge of your group there. The pavilions will be sanitized once your party's vacated. For the next group, if there is another one, we will do regular sanitizing at those locations.
So that being said, the liability lies on the person that's renting.
Yes.
We have
Correct.
nothing.
With the disclaimer. right
Which
now.
is the form that we're gonna move to using states.
Yep.
And it does go through what you're responsible for as the host or hostess of that party at that pavilion.
The question came up about people having little pop-up tents on the outside of the pavilion too. So do you want to?
They have done that in the past, and they didn't seem to think that was gonna be a major problem, so I have no problem with allowing that.
So the resident would just bring their own tent,
Yeah.
put it up that way,
Right.
if they have more room.
Because of the 9 feet, like I say, some of those smaller pavilions, you just can't do it,
Right.
so,
But that being said, they're not just gonna put up tents on the backside of the park.
no.
But it's gonna be tied in with that pavilion.
Yes.
Only.
And it'll probably be on the rental slip too, that they are gonna have their own tent or whatever, it's an auxiliary tent or
I
whatever.
don't wanna see them going down the backside of the park.
Right, no, it's not gonna be that.
And what about bathroom usage for?
There again,
pavilions?
that's why June 1st is when they're gonna start leaving the bathhouse open, and that coincides with the pavilion rental start, so they have use of the bathhouse.
Yeah, and they'll have a porta potty on the
Right.
pond side as well.
Right.
And we'll be responsible to go in and sanitize then all
Correct.
the time.
Yes, we are,
Every hour.
starting June 1st, we're gonna have to anyway. So, it coincides with the pavilion rentals, so. We have a motion for pavilion rentals, Lynn? Okay, I entertain a motion to allow pavilion rentals by the Parks Department to commence June 1st with the beginning of rental to be April 19th. Van Buren residents the first week, general public thereafter. And with the disclaimer that Onondaga County Parks is utilizing, and they have to designate if they're gonna have auxiliary tents being utilized utilized at each pavilion site that they rent.
Moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The last thing is, as Wendy said, Heidi has been in touch with the school district. They are willing to let us use McNamara School. They will have to pay for the janitorial and disinfecting. So the price is gonna go up to $350 per child for the 6-week program. That's up like $150 from last year, so it's almost double, if not double. She can get at least 40, possibly 50, she's not quite sure, but 40 is for sure, possibly 50 kids at McNamara. So we need to authorize the recreation supervisor and parks director to utilize McNamara School as a summer recreation program site.
When can they sign up?
I don't have that in my notes here.
Was all this sanitizing and everything was gonna be done by an outside firm? And it was gonna go in and do
The
it?
school district will do it at
The school
McNamara.
district will. Okay.
And that would run from 9 to 2 p.m. for 5 weeks. And that will be social distance 6 feet apart. So, entertain a motion to that effect?
Moved.
Second,
Any more discussion?
at least we have some programming that we're
There-
trying to do
There'll be
this
some
year.
programming this year.
And hopefully it'll be mainly towards,
Will I be in charge by then?
Yes,
Okay, is she aware of this?
yes,
Okay. So we got a smooth transition.
yep. No further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is approval for OCWA to install 3 hydrants within Traybrook Phase 2A extension. Hydrant numbers 14657, 14658, 14659 at an annual cost of $74.50 per hydrant per year. Entertain a motion to that effect.
Oh,
Second.
Any discussion?
Who pays the rent, the cost?
The water district.
so just those
The
people down
developer
Trafford.
pays for the installations, and then the water district picks up the annual hydrant charges.
This isn't the last of this. As
No,
the development
no,
gets
this-
bigger, they're just gonna keep
As this
adding
expands,
more.
the same, we'll be doing the same thing. Got a motion? Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8 is review the secret process for Connors Road culvert replacement. Well, let me get a motion on the table first. Entertain a motion to do so.
Moved.
Second.
We have asked Bartlett and Judas to seek funding for the replacement of the Connors Road culverts, which are located about 250 yards east of Canton Street on Connors Road going toward Van Buren. The guardrail system there is very antiquated, to say the least. The piping, the culverts that carry the Crooked Brook under Connors Road are undersized. The bridge expert from Bartlett Judas said they're scouring, and Jason, if I'm wrong on any of this, jump in, because it looks like it's eroded a lot of the downstream banks, and that is an indication that the piping at some points in the year is undersized. So they have to be increased in size. This grant is through the New York State, which one is it? Bridge New York grant system. It's something that's beyond what the highway department is capable of performing. And so the price tag affiliated with it is $849,000. So it's nothing that's gonna come out of local funds, for sure. If we don't get the grant, we're gonna have to do something about the guardrails up there somehow, but the big thing is try to do it, everything together, so. this environmental assessment has to be done as part of the grant that gets sent to Albany, so that's why we have to review this tonight.
When would you expect an answer back from Albany?
I think the answer comes pretty quick, by the end of the summer.
Yeah, I think it's usually by around 1st September we'd be hearing. Doug, you know anything about that?
No, I believe you said it wouldn't, if we were chosen to get approved for it, I believe it wouldn't be left for at least the following year.
Right.
Summer 2022 would be the best.
Yeah, that'd be the best case scenario for it.
Right.
Implementing it would work out.
So this is a negative declaration, Jason? Yeah. Okay. Anything else we need to highlight on this?
No, the town board is lead agency on an unlisted action, that's a negative declaration.
Okay. We got a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9 is approval for highway permit for Aqua to install 8-inch water main extension for Phase 2A of Traybrook and authorize the supervisor to sign on behalf of the town board. This goes along with the fire hydrants we just did. So I'd entertain a motion to that effect.
Moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, just an extension from Van Buren towards,
No. This is down on, this is for the Seneca Golf Course project, Traybrook.
I know it's along 48, but which side, where does the water main come from? Where is it delivered?
Well, it's gonna eventually tie together with Van Ness Road in the back off Route 48.
Okay, so it's a loop.
Right, it'll be a loop system once it's done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other discussion?
No, you need water line if you're gonna have hydrants, I guess.
Yeah, but not much point to the hydrants above.
Just the hydrants.
Yeah. Aren't they dry otherwise?
I did it backwards.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Committee Reports and Comments, MF.
Just want to remind all the residents that the fire ban, outdoor fire ban is still in effect until May 16th. And again, yesterday we got notice from the National Weather Service of extremely high winds. It's been a very dry winter, spring, and the potential for fire is elevated. So please make sure you comply with the ban.
We're compared to Las Vegas in the paper.
That's not good.
Las Vegas.
Yeah,
You mean for the
The dry?
casinos or for you guys?
big dry.
That's it.
Well,
Howard doesn't miss anything.
It's a gamble just coming in here tonight, believe me. Okay. Darcy,
Nothing tonight.
okay. Wendy?
I attended the Cantonwood Senior Center board meeting last Thursday. It was very quick. They didn't have a lot of business to discuss. Unfortunately, Cantonwoods is still not open, but they're trying their best to still have drive-through events as much as possible, and they're still offering services to seniors in the community. If any senior still needs assistance with anything, they're still available to them via email or telephone. And that's it.
Okay. Pat?
Just caution people, I know, I particularly noticed it as I was driving out of our subdivision in Harbor Heights tonight to come here. The kids, obviously with the good weather, are all over the place on their bikes, and they weren't paying much attention to cars coming along, and of course, they split, and one goes on one side, one goes on the other, and you're supposed to carefully go between them, and anyway, I guess I'm just making sure that everybody keeps their eyes open and that they're not distracted as they're driving with all the extra people that are out on the road and dogs and walkers and so on. So just slow down. So that's all.
Okay, Howard?
no, remind everybody again that the
trail along the old Erie Canal portion in Van Buren is still open for recreation. Take your dog for a walk, so. That's it.
They've been using it quite a bit. I see people down there every once in a while.
I used to see.
More towards the Camillus end, but we get some stragglers coming down
I
through
used to
there.
see deer all the time out there.
They're using it, huh?
No, I wasn't shooting them.
Howard covered it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Stole your
It's
thunder.
nice weather, the guys are out in full force, working on lawn repairs. It usually takes about 2 weeks, give or take, so give us a little bit of time to get you taken care of. If you haven't, seen your lawn taken care of by the third week of April, feel free to call the office and we'll make sure we can be taken care of. That's it.
Okay. I have, one comment, basically, quite a few comments on one issue. Jason and I attended a meeting with the Thruway Director, Matt Driscoll, Assemblyman Magnarelli. Our county legislator, Ken Bush, was there to discuss the Canton Street Bridge over the Thruway. Mr. Driscoll handed this out. This is on our website or will be up tomorrow. Lynn has posted it. Sometimes we have to wait a few hours before it shows up actually on the website, but by tomorrow this should be up. It goes through, shows you a lot of the condition of the bridge. It is important condition, there's no question about it. It is rated at 36 tons right now. He said they may have to lower that rating for crossover traffic. It gives a proposal on removal of the bridge and what it might look like if they were to remove it in the hamlet of Warners. It shows a cul-de-sac and really doesn't give much definition of what they do on the north side coming down at the base of the Canton Street Hill. It's got benefits of the bridge removal, cost savings. It's going to cost $2 million to remove the bridge. It'll cost $9 million to replace it. So really it's $7 million in replacement cost because the 2 is built into the 9. If it is replaced, there are 2 homes that will have to be eradicated at the radius of Brickyard Road on each on the east and west side. So that is one down side to this thing, but the majority of the people obviously over there want to see this bridge replaced. They even have signs, "Save the Bridge." That's one reason why Ken was there, because he's heard it as well as we have. Anyway, you can look at this on the website, and anybody that may see this from Warren to Hamlet or Warners, it's up there, and if you have any questions, you can give me a call at the office. I will give Assemblyman Magnarelli credit. He told the Thruway Director that his district needs this, and if they don't get it, he feels that Van Buren is getting shortchanged. He put it in plain words. He is going to try to work with the Thruway Director to see if he can't redirect some state money to the Thruway Authority. Assemblyman Magnarelli is the chair of the State Transportation Committee, so I don't know if that's possible or not, but they're going to be working on that. Matt Driscoll said that he will try to find a way, but he's not making any promises. He would need to work some magic because 137 other bridges similar to this one, I think is what he said. Right. And he's looked at all the aspects. He says it's a resource issue. Resource meaning the money. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I don't know if it'll go or stay. I really don't. I didn't get a lot of warm fuzzy out of the meeting, so we'll just have to wait and see. I hope that he can find the money in a way to see his way clear to be able to keep this bridge. It certainly is an asset to the community, and it was pointed out to him that as broadband gets installed in the more rural areas, not only of Van Buren, but of Camillus and Elbridge and such, there's going to be more houses built in these rural areas, and they will use Canton Street more. And it was also mentioned about the commitment that was made back in 1954 when they designed the whole thruway and laid it out, certainly the need for that bridge hasn't lessened in the last 50 or 60 years. It's only grown, so that was pointed out, and he understands all that. He did say that he was inundated with a lot of letters and such, so that does mean something when you do write a letter. So that, we'll just have to take a wait-and-see attitude on this. He said he would call me and let me know either way what their decision is, when they make it, so. But he gave no indication as to when that might be.
It's beyond repair.
Well, as you can see in the pictures, they've got jack posts under there, and they've got it shored up. He said he will not jeopardize public safety. He'll close it if he has to, and everybody would have to use the 173 bridge at that point. But the 173 bridge will be the first one to be reconstructed. This would be the second one. So they'd like to be able to do 173 while this one's still open to keep a viable avenue to get around over there. So, but they better hurry up because this one's not getting any better with time.
Those pictures are scary.
So, so that was the outcome of our meeting today. So, citizens' comments. Anyone wishing to address the board? Seeing none. Jason, you have anything? Okay.
Jason, did you compile the frequently asked questions regarding the Kriego Farm development and put them on the website? That I went through them, they were excellent. I think you covered every single question that I heard, and I appreciate you doing that because I think it will help give a lot of information to the residents who weren't able to jump on that Zoom meeting. So thank you for doing that.
They were frequently asked.
Okay. Nadine?
I have nothing other than,
Okay. Anyone else have anything else to bring before the board?
Yeah,
Pardon me?
too bad for the pool.
Yes, it is too bad. Entertain a motion to adjourn to April 21st at 7 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting stands adjourned. Thank you for coming.